Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Thank you for joining me. Today, my youngest comes back home. She has been celebrating the beginning of her senior year. Well, we're about 2 months in, 3 months in, and she has obviously been doing senior things. But anyway, she has requested chicken enchiladas, which are one of her favorites. So I am going to be making chicken enchiladas today. And then Stephen and I smoked a top round, I think it was. Yeah, a top round on Sunday. It was just under 3 pounds. And obviously, it was just he and I eating Sunday night because she's been gone for a couple of days. It's now Tuesday. And so last night, I thought she was coming home. I put it in the crock pot and I made it into a chicken taco meat, like a shredded beef. And so we had burritos last night. And then she has also requested shredded beef baked tacos. So we're going to be doing chicken enchiladas today and shredded beef tacos. So I hope you join us and join me in getting this cooked. All right, so the first thing that we are starting is I poach my chicken and then I put it in my blender and get it broken up and shredded. Now, when I poach my chicken, I poach it in chicken broth or chicken bouillon, whichever you want. I poach it with some cumin since we're doing it on the Mexican side, and I like the cumin flavoring, and then we're also putting a bay leaf inside. Now, poaching your chicken is different than boiling your chicken. When you poach your chicken, your temperature of your water is going to be between 160 and 180. Anything above that is boiling. So what you'll want once it gets to temperature, I'm getting up to that now. Once it gets to the temperature, then you're going to put your chicken breast in or your thigh meat, whichever you decide, and you can start poaching it. And it's only going to be in that broth for a little bit, but you do not want to boil your chicken. So we're going to test the temperature. All right, we are at 190, so I'm going to turn that way down. Took me a little longer to get prepared. Here, chicken breasts. I have scored them just to get them to cook a little bit more evenly to make sure, because we do have a smaller side and then you've got your thinner side. So I did score them on the thicker sides of the chicken breast. And then once this comes down, we're going to put those into our broth. All right, so we brought the temperature back down to room temperature, and you don't want to put cold chicken into hot water because it will make it rubbery. It'll overcook it. It'll cook it way too fast, and you don't want that. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn our stovetop back on, and we're going to bring the temperature up for 10 minutes. Once that 10 minutes is done, you should be around 160, 180 time frame wise. You don't want to put it on high. You want to put it on medium. Medium, I would say between low, medium. And you're just going to let it sit in there for 10 minutes until the temperature comes up. You want the broth temperature to be between 160 and 180. Once it gets to that 180, shut the heat off, cover your pot up, and let your chicken sit there for 15 minutes. All right. Yes, kitty. All right, so we're going to turn that back on, and we're going to bring that temperature up. All right, temperature's at 136, so a few more minutes. All right, 156. All right, so we've got our chicken in our blender. Internal temperature of your chicken should be about 165. So we let it sit there. Probably took a little bit longer, about 20 minutes in the broth once we turned off the heat. So we've got it in our blender now, or our mixer, and we're going to go ahead and get that shredded. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do with our enchiladas is I am going to add in green chilies. So this is mild Hatch Valley green chili. This one is the one that we like the most because it's not super chunky, but it's chunky, so it's got a little liquid. So I'm going to put half a jar in here, if I can get it open. And at this point, you can put in cheese, you can put in sour cream, you can do all of that. I don't add all of that into my chicken just because it's just a lot of cheese. And so we'll get that all mixed in. Mixed. See? There you go. Smells wonderful. And then over here, my shredded beef that we made into taco sauce last night. Right here, I've got my hot pan. I'm going to be frying up my tortillas in some oil for the beef tacos, and then I'm just going to use regular flour tortillas for my enchiladas. All right, so we've got our oil on here that is getting hot. We've got our corn tortillas. Now, I cheated this time with regards to flour tortillas. I didn't make them fresh. And I do have masa, so I can learn how to make corn tortillas. I just haven't done it yet. Always fry your tortillas, your corn tortillas, before you use them, because, or microwave them. That way they won't break. And we are going to be baking these, so I don't want them well done, but I do want them pliable. All right, and we're just going to put a little bit of beef on that. And then we're going to fold that in half. And then we're going to go on to the next one. Put cheese inside of these before you bake them. You can put onions. If you want to do a pico in there, you can do that. But when you bake them, it hardens the tacos, almost like if you've ever had Jack in a Box tacos. Even though they're so horribly bad for you, they're so good. But they're deep fried, and so this is kind of just a little in the middle, but the same texture. So it's super good. I wasn't sure how putting it in a crock pot and making taco meat was going to turn out, but I used just salt and pepper on when I smoked it. Salt, pepper, garlic salt, and onion powder, and then smoked it for, I think it was in there for 6 hours. It was just under 3 pounds, and it came out so yummy. But then when we redid it into tacos, I mean, it was so good. So good. We are preheating our oven to 425. That's going to be the temperature for these. And then once we put these in, then we'll start rolling our enchiladas. You know your oil's ready when you put either a wooden spoon inside your oil or whatever it is you're frying, just the end of it, and you start to get those bubbles at the end of it. That's when your oil is ready. All right, so there they are. So you're going to put these in the oven at 425 to whatever crispiness that you want. If you don't want to crisp them and put them in the oven, that's fine. You can leave them out like this. Just know that they are still a little soft, so your tortillas will rip. So if you put them in, get them just a little crispy. That way they won't rip on you. Okay, so these are out. They are very crispy. This is the way that she likes them. Probably a little too crispy for me, but these are all done, and we're going to finish up our enchiladas and get those put in there. All right, rolling enchiladas. Pretty self-explanatory. Not a hard thing to do. Everybody does them different. Oh, shoot. Some people spill it all over their counter. Now, when it comes to cheese, I don't put a whole lot of cheese inside of them. Like I said before, you can add cream cheese to this. You can really get it cheesied up, but we just don't. Only because my husband eats most of the cheese in the house, and there's never any left for the rest of us.
It's not even close to true.
I believe I can bring up previous videos of you grabbing the cheese when I'm cooking. And the cheese I'm putting on the inside is just some jack cheese. On the top, I'll put the mozzarella. Sideways. Okay, so for the enchiladas, we are going to pour the remaining amount of Hatch green chili salsa on top of these. I don't do it heavy. Again, if you like it heavy or if you like red sauce, definitely use those. I just like to minimize as much as possible. So I just do a very loose amount. And then we'll put the mozzarella on top. All right, so we've got all that on there. We're going to cover these with tinfoil. Stick them in a 425 oven. I'd say for about 20-25 minutes. You just want that cheese to melt and everything to warm on the inside. You're on! Taste test time!
What is this?
This is your green chili chicken enchilada.
Why is it mine?
Because you're eating it for dinner.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's really good.
Is it too spicy for you?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
You know why I have you do these taste tests, right?
Why?
As proof that I didn't give you like food poisoning or arsenic. It's only best defense. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you have a wonderful day and try this recipe. If you can, let me know if you like it. And always remember to like and subscribe. Have a great day.